What's up, everybody? My name is Baina. This is my first time making a YouTube video and posting it. This YouTube video is basically just going to be about why I left religion, part one. I'm going to make probably a couple parts because it's kind of hard to get everything in one video where it's not too lengthy and you could just say whatever. And like people will understand what you're saying, but you'll kind of like forget if the video is too long. So I'm going to make a couple parts. So anyway, it's 2023. Before I get really deep into it, I do want to say that I'm not here to tell anyone what they can believe in or anything like that. I'm just here to tell you my experience. And probably going to say this in every video because some people have like this thing where they think that you're telling them what to do. It's just like, do your own research and live your own life, and don't really don't really like just go off of what someone else says. Basically, like, do your own research before you decide to make a decision. Another thing, the reason why I decided to make this video and to make any of my spiritual videos coming up is because it's something that's really important to me. When I was looking for an answer or something to feel like I'm not alone, I was looking for videos like this. So this is why I'd want to make these videos, and just to let whoever's listening to this or watches this video and is going through the same thing that I was previously going through, they can understand. So let's just jump right in. I have my list here. I wrote these like almost a year ago in my phone. And I just want to briefly talk about 10 reasons why I left my religion. And in part two, I'm going to go deeper into these 10 reasons. So the first reason why I left my religion was because I just felt spiritually dead. That's the first reason. Like I didn't feel like, and some of these are probably going to sound similar, but they're all different. But anyway, I didn't feel like I was like, I don't know, I just felt like I was void. I didn't feel like I was getting where I wanted to be in my spiritual path. I felt like I was stuck somewhere. And I know, like, as a child, I've always felt very close to God in my soul. And as I grew up and I started getting into religion, it just felt like it was getting less and less. I felt less and less connected. And I know it sounds crazy because you'll think like, well, if you're practicing a religion, and by the way, I didn't even say what religion I was in. I apologize. I was practicing Islam. I was born and raised in it. So it's not like I had a choice to say no, really. I just kind of like grew in it. And then when I was like 12 years old, I had a spiritual awakening. And then that kind of died down again. And then I was heavy more into my religion. And then I started to slowly like elevate in my spiritual level. But anyway, yeah, I used to practice Islam. Very peaceful religion at first. I'm not gonna talk too much about it until like my other clips, my other videos. But right now, I just want to briefly say that at first it's a very peaceful religion, and like every religion it's very peaceful. But it starts to get a little chaotic when your spirit tries to grow in any particular religion. So yeah, I just felt like spiritually dead, and I wanted more. So number two, I was feeling very disconnected. I didn't feel connected to my religion anymore. Like I started to feel more connected to, I think this was around when I turned 18, actually. It wasn't because like I was trying to avoid my religion at all, but it was because I guess I just felt really depressed. And like I said, I felt disconnected to everyone and everything. I didn't feel like I was, I didn't feel I had an like I had a strong spiritual belief in something. I felt like I was losing that. So I felt very disconnected. I started to, actually, I'm going to talk about that in the other video because the other video is going to be a lot more fun to talk about my steps and stages. But this is just going to be like, like I said, just a briefing of why I left religion in the first place. So feeling disconnected was number two. Number three is feeling burnt out. So everyone knows in religions there's rituals you have to do. spiritual things you have to do, like, spiritual rituals you have to do. We would do these, like, if you know about Islam at all, you have to pray 5 times a day. You have to fast for 30 days. When it comes to Ramadan, you got to fast for 30 days. You can't drink water, you can't eat until the sun goes down, and you have to eat and drink before the sun comes up. So it was doing that, which wasn't really a big deal for me until I started having health complications. Then I stopped doing it. It wasn't because I didn't want to fast. It's just because, I started having health complications and I would pass out, so I couldn't fast like I wanted to when I was fasting. And that just happened like last year. Last year I was still practicing. It was actually this year in March is when I stopped practicing. It was a spring equinox and I felt I needed a change. So I just finally broke off from my religion because like I said, it's just not for me. I'm still very spiritual. I still believe in the Creator and I still do spiritual practices. I'm just not into religion the way that, I'm not into the dogmatic part of religion. And I learned that it's not really who I'm meant to be. So, feeling burnt out. Like I said, you do all these different things. And eventually praying 5 times a day, like I said, just made me feel numb. And I didn't feel like I was connecting to the Creator anymore. I felt like I was just doing something just to do it because I didn't want to go to hell. So that's feeling burnt out. That's number 3. Number 4 is just feeling not myself. Like I said, it's kind of all ties into one big reason of disconnection and not feeling like who I'm supposed to be. Or who I was meant to be as the Creator created me. It just felt like I was being someone else. Like I wasn't being or fulfilling who I'm supposed to be. I just felt like I was just following these rules because the Bible says this and the Quran says this and the Torah and the Gospel says to do this. So at the end of the day, I just following rules and not really knowing and just falling into like this spiral connection of like bullshit. And I'm going to try not to swear so much because it's not really like I'm angry at religion or anything like that, but it was a lot of bullshit that I felt. And that's what I'm going to pinpoint, like the bullshit that I felt. So yeah, I did feel, like I said, not myself. I felt like I was looking in the mirror, but there was no face. It's like the best description I could give. I didn't even recognize my own mind at the time. I just started to feel like really off, like something was really not connecting anymore. All right. Number 5 is feeling controlled, which is kind of relates to, like I said, these all tie into the same thing because it's like a big tree and it has roots. So regardless of where the roots are, they still belong to that one tree. So yeah, so number 5 is feeling controlled. Like I said, just following laws, following rules, just doing whatever I was told to do because the book said so. And if I didn't do that, I was bound to go to hell. And if I didn't believe in the same thing as everybody else did in that religion, I was also bound to go to hell. So in my mind, I just felt like, okay, I'm being controlled like a fucking robot. I can't even believe something outside of my belief because it doesn't say that in this book. It doesn't give me, it doesn't synchronize, it doesn't resonate with the book. So I couldn't believe in that. And that was something that made me feel really fucked up because I'm just like, if I experience this thing and you're telling me that it's not in the book, and because it's not in the book, then I can't believe in it, which is something that, like I said, mind control. It's like a narcissistic way of practicing spirituality. You kind of just... You listen to whatever the books say, and then you just do that. And if you don't do that, then you're hellbound, or something bad is gonna befall you. Just feeling controlled, not having my own mind, not being allowed to express, what my spiritual journey really feels like, and just kind of like fucking robotic, you just do everything. I'm trying so hard not to swear, but it's kind of like my comfort zone, to cuss when I can't get words out. But yeah, so like I said, like it's just feeling controlled. Like everybody's telling you do this, do that, and at the end of the day, you're just a robot. You know what I'm saying? Like you just listen to all these rules and then you just feel dead. I felt dead. I'm sorry. And I don't know about anybody else who practices any religion. I've met a lot of people who say like they feel so good and they're so happy. That's their journey. That's not mine. If that's what suits them, then that's good for them, but it's not good for me. And I know it's not good for me because my soul wouldn't be making me feel like shit. I want to feel like shit. All right. Number 6 is actually very important. And it's so funny that it's number 6 because we'll get into that another time. But anyways, that was unintentional. Number 6 is lack of knowing myself. Yeah, I kind of said that already, but it wasn't one of the parts that's listed in the beginning. So lack of feeling myself, I'm just gonna break it down a lot more in another video. Obviously, like, like I said, between doing like all these rituals and between like, just listening to whatever the Quran says, the Bible says, the Torah, the gospel, as far as the rules go, I didn't feel like I knew who I was. I felt like I was just shape-shifting in between religions and opinions, you know what I'm saying? Like in between the religious aspects and the aspects of just listening to the rules. Like I just couldn't feel like, okay, so what am I here for? Why am I on this planet? Like what is going on? And you'll hear me say this in my next video I make, because I'm going to go deeper into this reason of why I left religion. These are just some of the reasons I'm going to keep repeating, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm going to go deeper into a topic right now when I'm not going to. But like I said, not knowing who I am is really something that I feared more than going to hell. Number 7 is feeling lost. Yeah, I felt really lost. Like, okay, everybody's saying that there's this one God and, that this is the way, this is the right way. But why do I feel like it's not? Like, why do I feel like this friction within my soul and my mind? Like, not in a disobedient way, because some people like to say, oh, you're just disobedient and you don't want to follow God's laws, so that's why you feel the way you feel. And it's like, no, I've actually practiced for a long time. I've prayed for a long time to fix myself. And whenever I prayed to the God that was in the books, I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. I just felt like I was being told to do something, and felt like I was just praying so that God could be happy, and that's it. So I pretty much was just like, I don't even know who I am. I feel really lost, and I need help. That's really like my cry. Like I was like, I really need help. Like I remember crying on my prayer rug and asking, like, why do I feel so lost? Like, why do I feel so off? What's wrong with me? Like, why do I feel, if I'm praying to this creator, why am I not getting the answers? Why am I not getting the feeling that you're supposed to feel? There's just no emotion. There's no nothingness. It's just feeling absolutely lost and numb as hell. Number 8. This might piss a lot of people off if you come across my my video and you're like really religious. This is gonna piss a lot of people off, because number 8 is about the dots not connecting, which means like what says in religion isn't what I was experiencing in reality 100%. And some of the things in the book were kind of like, what the hell? Does that even make any sense? My soul would hurt from reading some of the things I would read in the Bible and in the Quran. Like, for example, there's a part in the Quran which says multiple times that you can't marry someone until they believe in God, until they believe in the same God that you believe in. And then there's another part that says, fight those who don't believe. And then it says, but there's no compulsion. So you're kind of like, yeah, there's one moment where, and then there's another part of religion where it says, that the bloodline, your family, is greater than religion. Yet we have everyone, and like I said, this is not for people who are happy with their religion. It's not for that. It's for people who, this message that I'm giving out is for people who are struggling to be involved in religion, because their soul just can't accept it as far as being something that they can go with for their life and feel comfortable in living in it. Okay. But yeah, so there's like I said, there's like different parts. And now, like I said, I'll go deeper in another video, but this is just like, the basic video. where like things just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, okay, so why would I wait for someone to believe in the God that I believe in just for me to marry them? That's one. Number two is, why when it talks about you like the men going out to war, right? It talks about taking their enemies' wives, and you can have sex with them and all this other stuff. It's like, okay, this is fucking weird. This is absolutely fucking weird. I don't feel comfortable reading this. I don't feel comfortable, no. And then it made me feel like I was less than. Okay, that's actually gonna be number 11, even though I put number 10 as last reason, but it's gonna be number 11, and I'll get right back to that. Number 9 is no spiritual joy. So I know since I was a kid that I always wanted to be with God. For some reason, I just knew, like, I knew that God exists. My parents didn't really talk about God too much when I was a kid, obviously, because I wouldn't understand, but I would understand. But that's not what parents really do. Until you turn like 7 years old, they start indoctrinating you into their beliefs. But number 9, as far as not feeling spiritual joy, it's just facts. I didn't feel like I was connected to a creator that was loving me. I didn't feel like I was connected to a creator that really cared about me. Maybe in times where I had the same belief, I did. But then as I kept reading the books and then reading other spiritual intakes on, like, you know, when you read like different surahs or different verses in the Bible and the Quran, and then you read the commentary, or you look for scholars to to listen to what their interpretation is about it, things just didn't seem comfortable. And I felt like serving God was more like a chore than a joy. So I was like, yeah, I don't really feel like I'm happy anymore doing this kind of stuff. It just makes me feel like I'm exhausted, burnt out, like I said in one of them, and just no spiritual joy. I didn't feel happy at all. I didn't wake up every morning after I realized it wasn't for me. I was just like, I wake up every morning and I'm just thinking like, man, I really want to connect with God differently. I don't want to connect with God the way that this religion is telling me to, nor do I want to connect with God the way Christianity is telling me to. There's a certain type of spiritual essence that I have within me, and it's probably from my Native American ancestors, that just doesn't want to have any type of religion at all. Like, I don't need a religion to be a moral human being. I don't need a religion to believe in a creator, you know? And this is going to go deeper into another topic, but I just want to clarify the fact that you don't need religion to be a decent human being. Okay? Okay. So, number 10 is not feeling fulfilled. Yeah. I feel like my spiritual needs were not being met. I felt like everything that I wanted to say and to believe in, because I experienced it in reality, not a book, wasn't accepted. I would see spirits, I see ghosts. Some people be like, oh, that stuff's not real. Religion doesn't talk about that kind of stuff. You know, that stuff is haram. It's like, it's forbidden. And it's like, how if I'm seeing it in reality? So I was really intrigued by astrology, because I felt like it definitely relates to me and other people. And it sounds weird, but it's definitely something that's true. And when I die, I do want to I do want to understand more about astrology once I pass away. Sounds kind of crazy, but I'm interested in the stars and the things that people cannot understand from a simple point of view. So yeah, I just didn't feel fulfilled at all. I just felt like I was just floating around. And, you know, I remember one time I had posted something on Facebook, and I was, you know, friends with some of my family members, obviously. And some things that I would post, they wouldn't agree with, and they would question me in person as to why I posted certain things. And I just like, okay, well, just because we have a religion doesn't mean that I can't believe in things that don't line up with the religion. And then that's when one of my family members, she was like, well, you're not supposed to believe in stuff like that because it's forbidden and all that other kind of shit. And I'm just like, well, I do believe in it because it has truth. And I don't want to limit myself to a belief, one belief, when there's so many beliefs out there that you can experience just by living as a human being on this planet. So why would I want to limit myself to have one belief system when you can access the creator and spirituality in many different ways? And when I try to explain this to a lot of my family members, we're just gonna close this now as far as the notes goes. And I'm just gonna actually leave this here just in case something else pops up. But when I tried explaining this to, some of my family members, of course, I was, told that I was hellbound if I didn't serve God the way that the Quran says to. But then in the same aspect, I was also told there's many routes to reach God, and you don't have to be in one particular religion in order to get that spiritual enlightenment. When I started my journey, it wasn't something that I planned on. I remember, and actually I just threw away a couple of my papers when I moved in with my sister, that said I would always be Muslim. And so when I look at the paper, I remember me having that mindset and saying to myself, yeah, I will always be Muslim. But if you look up the word Muslim and you see the reason, like the actual real meaning of it, it's basically what I am. It's just not in the religious context. It's hard to explain. Actually, no, it's not hard to explain. It's just that when you have a dogmatic mind, you're not going to understand what I mean by that. So, yeah. That was just a quick... Oh, wait, I did say number 11. I was going to talk about something. I literally forgot. I'm not even going to lie. I literally forgot. But like I said, this is just the first video. I'm actually more happier that this one turned out pretty well and pretty focused, because usually I go off the topic and I start venting and I cuss a lot. But because I'm in a good mood today and my head feels kind of clear, a lot more clearer than it has been this week, it's easier for me to talk about it. But yeah, I was told by multiple family members, I'm not doing the right thing. There's many religions in this world, many religions. You just have to figure out what actually works for you and do what's best for you and not what's best for everyone else. And when I learned that, I'm the only one who's living my life, duh. When I actually was accepting of that and actually had to get whatever toxic mindset that I had back then when I was still living with my parents, narrow-mindedness, basically. After I learned that, I was like, this is my life, and I don't want to live miserably. And if I'm going to live in truth, I want to live in my truth, as far as what my soul aligns with. I don't want to just live the way that other people feel is best for me. A lot of people are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Why don't you come out of Islam? Why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? No one has influenced my decision. And I want to make that very clear, because some people think just because I moved out of my parents' house is the reason why I left my religion, which is bullshit, because I was already not praying for a whole year while I was still living with my siblings and my parents. I didn't pray because I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it. I was just praying and nothing was happening, And like I said, I would cry on my prayer rug and ask the Creator all the time, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And whenever I would look at the stars and be outside my window at night, I would literally just cry and ask the Creator, whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever it is, I don't want to be this, whatever I feel. I want to be somebody great, I don't want to be like everybody else, just follow along with the religion and just keep doing the same thing. I don't feel like I'm growing. I don't understand. I don't feel anything when I'm fasting. I wanted to get the highest amount of spiritual awakening as I could possibly get. I wanted to and still want to attain the highest level of spirituality that I can on this planet. And I'm sorry, honey, but religion just doesn't allow you to do that. Because with religion, you have to stay stuck in the same mindset. You can't think outside of your religion. And when you think outside the box, that's when things start to change for you. That's when the universe actually, you start to see God, the creator, the universe actually work for you. You start to become more spiritual, more happy. So I feel a lot better, and I feel like I look a lot better also in my skin, and feel a lot better in my body and in my soul. Because before I couldn't feel my soul, I just kept feeling like something was wrong. Now, whenever I even touch my hair or, bite my lip or take a piece of hair off my eyelash or anything like that, I feel my spirit, I feel my soul. And I know, like, it's crazy because you would think because I was practicing a religion that's so strict and talks about God all the time, and we have like our 7-day, like, our Jumas and whatever, we'd set aside that one day out of the 7 days to pray and all that. You would think that coming together to pray, to worship the creator would make me feel a lot stronger in my faith, but it just didn't. I didn't lose faith in the creator. A lot of people think just because I left religion, I'm just this cuckoo person and I don't believe in the creator and that, stuff like that. Or they question, if you believe in God, why did you leave your religion? And then I have a lot of people saying that Islam is not a religion. Well, let's just actually look at what religion means. Go ahead and look it up, right? Because I know what it means right off the bat. And see if it fits, if Islam fits the description of religion. Because it's not just a lifestyle. People say, oh, it's a lifestyle, it's not a religion. No, honey boo, it is a religion. Like, go look it up. And then look up religions of the world. And then Islam is going to be listed right on top of the rest with Christianity, Buddhism. And all the time, they always try to say, like, I don't know why, like, I feel like my tongue wants to constantly roll, like I want to speak Spanish, which is probably why I'm going to learn to speak Spanish anyway, because my tongue just constantly wants to roll, like it wants to speak another language. But anyway, on every religion that you look up, it's going to tell you it's a religion. Like, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a religion as long as you're comfortable doing that. Like, this is not to say that, you shouldn't have religion in your life at all, because there's a lot of good things in religion as well, and there's a lot of truth in religion. Religion is the books that are in religion are codes and they're symbols, but you have to decode the symbols, right? And it takes a lot of fucking work. And on top of that, it's not about you getting somewhere and staying in that position. When I learned that life is a journey, it's not about one stable position, I was like more happy, like, oh my God, wow, right. I'm stressing about learning who this prophet is and all this type of knowledge I'm supposed to have to preach to people. And let me write that down because I don't want to forget, because I didn't like the feeling of preaching to people either. That's probably going to be number 11. I didn't like the feeling of preaching to people to try to make them believe in something that I believed in, because it just didn't feel comfortable for me. Because deep in my soul, I knew that life cannot be this difficult. Like it just cannot be this difficult. People can't just conform to a belief just because you tell them that they're going to go to hell. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy mindset to have. But anyways, yeah. I'm going to make more videos, a couple more videos, but those are just some of the reasons why I left religion. Let's just quickly recap since I have 1 minute left. I felt spiritual deadness. I felt disconnected. I also felt burnt out from doing the same thing over again. I didn't feel myself. I felt controlled by something that wasn't good. I lacked knowing myself and who I am. I felt lost and confused. Some of the things that were in the books weren't really connecting. The dots were not connecting is number 8. Number 9, I didn't feel any spiritual joy. And number 10, not feeling fulfilled. Number 11, I didn't like the fact that I had to preach to people. I'm trying to make them believe in something that I did. So that's it for today's video. If you guys want to subscribe, you can. I have to get used to saying that because I never say it. This is my first YouTube video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay open-minded. You know, never read a book by its cover. Always read a full book. And yeah, just stay positive, be light, be love, and be open to receive things. You know what I mean? Like don't hold so much in, and don't, you know, give so much out either. Like be like in between, if that makes any sense. Anyways, have a good day, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.